Hello, welcome to Locked on Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of your favorite team in the Bay Area. On today's episode, the Sharks lose Scrappy again as they fall to the Panthers 4-1. So we're going to talk about that game. We're going to talk about the Timo Meier trade market, especially now that Vladimir Tarasenko was traded to the Rangers today. So all that and more on today's episode of Locked on Sharks.
You're Locked on Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at Fear the Fin, RIP, and San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you for making Locked on Sharks your first listen. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. The only podcast that covers your team every day, Monday through Friday. And Sharks, again, continue to lose Scrappy as they lose 4-1 to the Panthers. A game that was really close in there for the taking. But as we know with the Sharks this season, they, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Before we get into Tarasenko trade and what that means for Timo Meier, kind of dive into this game some more. Kaapo Kahkonen's another outstanding night from Kaapo Kahkonen. Do want to let you guys know about today's episode being brought to you guys by FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment matter more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. And before we get into the game, let's start with the kind of the big NHL news, right? Vladimir Tarasenko was traded to the Rangers. When honestly, I was really kind of shocked by how little they had to give up. But that's just what I thought. But anyway, so the New York Rangers received Vladimir Tarasenko and defenseman Niko Mikkola. That's not fun to say. Actually, it is kind of fun. Niko Mikkola. Anyway. St. Louis Blues received a forward, Sammy Blaze, who's fine. He played with them, the Blues, for a while. Hunter Skinner, defenseman. A 2023 first-round pick, which is actually the worst between the Rangers, and I think it's the Stars, and then a conditional 2024 fourth-round pick. I know Tarasenko is older, and then the Blues also retained half of Tarasenko's salary, too. I know Tarasenko's older. He had a no movement clause, et cetera, but did not feel like the Rangers gave up a lot. But I think the big thing, though, is I do wonder if this takes the Rangers out of the Timo Meier kind of sweepstakes right now, especially, because they already gave up this year's first-round pick. And I know that is kind of what the Sharks are looking for. They want a first-round pick in this year's draft, especially with how loaded this draft is. We've already talked about plenty of times. We know that the talent at the top end, but it feels like there's a lot of kind of good talent. It feels very much like the 2020 draft class, where you're going to be able to find really good players kind of scattered throughout the first and second round draft. So if you're first and second round of the draft, so if you're able to get a late first round pick, while that player may never be as good as Timo Meier, you're still probably going to be able to find a high quality NHL caliber player in the draft. So that's why I really think the Sharks do want a draft pick in this year's draft, that 2023. And then that's what gives you stuff to do more things with, right? But it does kind of feel like maybe with this move, the Rangers might be out of the running a little bit. I mean, maybe they package up. It's more of a players and prospects package, but I think, though, getting that first round pick is really key for the Sharks. And I don't know if the Rangers also want to trade away next year's first round pick. Again, you never know, right? What might happen with that pick, or do they trade the other first round pick? Just saying, whichever one's left over, you get in this year's draft as well. They could do that as well. They could trade next year's, but I kind of feel like this takes the Rangers kind of out of running for Timo Meier, just because, again, I think other teams are going to be able to offer up better packages than what the Rangers can right now, unless they want to add more players, et cetera, et cetera. It does sound like, though, good old Kevin Weeks talked about, so he tweeted out, so you have the Devils, Canes, Rangers. Again, I'm a little hesitant on the Rangers, especially after them trading for Tarasenko. Also the Golden Knights. Again, please, Golden Knights fans, do not get mad at me. I know, like, if the Golden Knights offer you the best package, you have to take it. But just watching Timo Meier skate around in that ugly gold helmet for the next 7 to 8 years, it sounds gross. That just sounds gross to me. Again, it's nothing personal, Vegas. I mean, I'm talking to Sharks fans right now. Do you want to see Timo Meier wearing that gold ugly bucket for now? And plus, they don't, like, again, remember, the Sharks won a first-round pick and a grade A prospect. And who from the, like, who are you getting from Vegas that you feel like, okay, cool, like, yeah, I could talk me into that? And I know Vegas right now, they're going to be in a cap crunch because of stuff, you know. Mark Stone, who knows how long he's out for. They're saying he could be back for the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. Vegas is already $4 million over the cap headed into next year. So the good thing is, I mean, unless they try, I don't know if they try to finagle stuff. I don't know who they're trading and who would be intriguing enough to the Sharks. You know, like Brendan Brisson, who's not really had a great year this year down in the AHL. He has 19 points, 7 goals. For a guy who's a sharpshooter, like, he scores goals. He has 7 goals, 12 assists, and 19. Like, William Eklund, who's not known as being a goal scorer, has more goals than Brendan Brisson, and Brisson's known for scoring goals. Like, is that what you want? Like, cool, Brendan Brisson. Yeah, they're like that. They don't have that, like, prospect where you're like, yeah, that's the guy I want. So again, it could be one of those, you know, just trying to kind of drum up interest, et cetera, type of things. And the Vegas could be a potential, like, we're just going to use them to kind of maybe drum up interest for other teams type of situations. But I think I would be sick to the stomach if I had to watch Timo Meier put on that dumb gold helmet and skate around with that. That would be really insane, having Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, and Timo Meier all playing on a line together. Absolutely insane for the, like, 10 games where they're all healthy. Timo Meier's healthy, but the other two guys, we'll see. But yeah, I just don't see it. So I think it's going to be, I mean, the teams I'm looking at, right? I think Winnipeg has some intriguing stuff where you could, I know they're not the most aggressive team when it comes to making deals like this, but Winnipeg, I think you could get some really high quality prospects like Big Bad Brad Lambert, who I would be, or maybe Recker McGroarty, who is I think he was a top 15. Was he 13 or 15 anyway? Pick last year. Like, he was a top pick in last year's draft. Like, you could get some stuff. Maybe you get Billy Helena, who I talked about as a potential trade candidate back with Ryan Merkley, where maybe it's a 1-for-1 swap type of thing. Maybe you get him. Sharks do need some defensive, like a kind of a good defensive prospect, and I think he would kind of fit that mold. So we're starting to kind of see some of the players take shape here. But for the love of God, I cannot watch Timo Meier put on a Vegas Golden Knight jersey. So before we get into another Sharks Scrappy loss, do want to let you guys know about our friends over at FanDuel. If you guys don't know, it's Super Bowl weekend this weekend. I am personally very excited. I'm always really sad, though, when the Super Bowl happens, because then it's like you have to wait so long to enjoy football again. But the only app that you need at the your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On, because the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel. If you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. Download FanDuel now so you can bet Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You get to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown. Again, Travis Kelce touchdown, Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown. Those feel really close to, like, I don't want to say locks, but we're pulling out the lock. So FanDuel Sportsbook app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Best of all, you get paid your winnings instantly. So head over to FanDuel.com/lockedon to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. Again, that's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Okay, let's talk about this game. So, yeah, again, another, just how many times do we see this with the Shark? It's the Scrappy Blues loss, right? They're again giving up a goal in the last minute of the second period, right? How many times have we seen the Sharks give up one of these like kind of back-breaking, momentum-changing goals where you give up a goal as the period's coming to an end, and then you just kind of drain everything out of all the kind of success or all the momentum that you've been building up, and then you just give up that back-breaking goal. And the Sharks had opportunity to get back into this game, right? Timo Meier draws a 4-minute high-sticking penalty with like 4.5, less than 5 minutes left. Like, this is the Sharks' time to get back in this game. You're on the power play for an extended amount of time, and the first unit comes. This is where we see that not having enough dudes, like guys who can shoot the puck or generate extended amount of offense, kills you, right? First unit comes out, and it wasn't the prettiest, but they kind of got some chances. But then as soon as the second unit hit the ice, it was all over. The Panthers penalty kill, the way they were kind of being super aggressive and making the Sharks power play just unable to get set up, especially when you have guys like Nico Sturm and Nick Bonino and all these guys out there who on most teams probably aren't on your power play. Maybe one of them is, not all of them, right? But you saw that, right? They got the pressure. Those guys weren't able to handle it. And then as soon as Kaapo Kahkonen gets pulled, that's where the Panthers attacked, and there's 2 empty net goals. So the score looks way worse than it is, right? You see the 4-1 loss. This is a 2-1 game that the Sharks had an opportunity to win at the end, but just weren't able to, because again, that's when you play these teams that have, maybe your elite talent can match up, right? Carlson and Meier can match up with most teams on most nights, but that's where you see the lack of depth, right? Hurdle's been struggling recently. I talked about it in the, players who need to have a big second half. Hurdle's, we haven't seen a Hurdle goal. We've seen one Hurdle goal basically since the new year. When Hurdle needs to kind of start finding the back of the net here soon, right? Logan Couture, he's been solid, but again, he needs to be kind of one of those secondary scoring guys. Kevin Labanc, who can't even see the ice right now. I honestly do not know why Kevin Labanc can't play. Kevin Labanc is a team right now who's been struggling a little bit to score. Kevin Labanc can score, and it seems weird that the Sharks this year we're going to try to score a bunch. They almost like an outscore our problems type of team, and they just haven't been able to outscore their problems. And again, I don't know if Kevin Labanc, I pulled out a poll on Twitter today. Did Kevin Labanc run over David Quinn's dog? Did he make fun of Duncan? Did he start a "Let's Go Yankees" chant in the locker room? Did he say Montana's better than Brady? Shang said, maybe jokingly said Eli over Brady. Whatever Kevin Labanc has done, at some point you have to put him back on the ice if you're trying to win games. And maybe, again, coaches do not tank. They go out there to try to win every game, and you try to put the best possible lineup out there. And Mike Greer would not be like, don't play Kevin Labanc so we can lose games, et cetera, et cetera. That is not how teams and front offices, we as fans want them to tank, right? But front offices and teams do not take that strategy. That is not how they do it. You can ask the Dolphins, you can get in a lot of trouble for that. But Kevin Labanc is one of your best forwards, and you at some point you have to give him a chance to at least earn an opportunity to get out of the doghouse, and I wonder when that chance is going to happen. So, yeah, I'm a little. I'm starting to just, something doesn't smell right here. That's my kind of thing for this right now. Something just does not kind of smell right now. But let's look at the line. Let's look at this game and we'll look at the lines before we get out of here. So kind of, the Sharks kind of hung around in there. Again, like I said, this was another one of those scrappy losses for the Sharks that they have become so good at. Panthers outshot them at 5-on-5, 67-50. Actual shots on goal was 35-27 at 5-on-5 in favor of the Panthers. Scoring chances were 35-30 in favor of the Panthers. Sharks did, again, as we know with the Sharks, with the high danger chances, right? The quality over quantity, 18-12 in favor of the Sharks. Expected goals for 3.37 to 2.84. So you could say the Sharks actually got a bit unlucky here tonight and should have had 3 goals instead of the one that they were able to score from Barabanov. And so, very, very minor, basically one power play for the Sharks in the beginning of the game, one power play for the Panthers in the middle of the game, and then the 4-minute to kind of end the game that the Panthers were able to score 2 empty netters to salt it away. And Kaapo Kahkonen, he's been playing really, really well recently and played really, really well tonight. I know one goal, the first goal, he probably wants that one back. I know Reinhardt's a good player. Scott Harrington maybe could have done a little bit, especially since Scott Harrington had help on the rush there. You would have liked that Harrington would have maybe been a little bit more aggressive playing Reinhardt and trust that your other guys are going to be able to kind of, I know Hurdle was back there. He had plenty of help. It wasn't like it was a 2-on-1 situation where you would have hoped maybe Harrington would have been a little bit more aggressive playing the man and not just kind of give it all to Kaapo Kahkonen, but at the same time, just a little bit quicker with the glove there, Kaapo. But again, Sam Reinhart, he's a good player. So, but for Kaapo tonight, so Sharks did they gave up a lot of shots, but they did a good job of, again, kind of keeping, I talked about the high danger chances, right? They kind of kept those at bay and kind of kept those, made them more minimal for Kaapo Kahkonen. I think that's kind of what led to his strong night. So 35 saves on 37 shots. This is all situations. Expected goals, 2.9, did give up 2 goals. Save percentage, 0.946 tonight. So good job. Only 6 high danger shots, 5 high danger saves, 10 mid danger, 9 mid danger saves, and then 18 low danger. So like I said, they did a good job of, kind of helping Kaapo Kahkonen out tonight. But I thought he played really well. And, he's definitely facing an onslaught of shots, especially kind of the beginning of the third period there, kind of end of the second, middle of the end of the second, he was keeping the Sharks in that until Reinhardt was able to score to put them ahead. But, you saw in that middle of the second period where the Panthers really kind of put the pedal to the metal in the game and tried to kind of end it there. And they kind of did. So, but you have to feel pretty good about Kaapo Kahkonen's game over the past couple. The Penguins game kept them in that, especially that beginning of that third period, right? Kept the Sharks in that game. They came back and won. Little bit of trouble in against the Lightning in the first period. Again, I'm not going to put all that on Kaapo Kahkonen. The Lightning are really good, but again, stood tall in the second and third period, especially when the Lightning tried to kind of take the game, try to, even up the game and take the game. And then I thought he, again, faced an onslaught of shots tonight. Not all the most high dangerous, but I mean, still, when you're facing that many shots, I thought he was very solid tonight as well. So kind of stringing. I'm intrigued to see what they do on Sunday, right? Do you give him a fourth straight game, or do you let Reimer kind of come in and, maybe get a game here or so? So I'm more inclined to go Reimer on Sunday, but we shall see. So before we finish up, can actually look at the lines here. Kind of a little bit different approach today. So mix it up a little bit, right? It's Friday or Thursday night, Friday, whatever. Do want to let you guys know about the Locked On Sports Today podcast. So thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, your team every day. Locked On Sports Today covers all of sports for every team every day. Right now, of course, big NBA trade deadline stuff. So you want to get caught on that. You have your take of the day. I'm sure that they're going to get you covered for the Super Bowl as well. So make sure you guys are checking the Locked On Sports Today podcast, wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. All right, so let's finish up with the lines really quickly here for the forward lines for the Sharks. So same lines that we have seen are a little bit, same lines basically. Barabanov did play a couple shifts with Hertl and Meier, but Barabanov, Couture, and AC Mott led time on ice at 5-on-5. Had a pretty solid night. 16 shot attempts, 4. Gave up 11. Actual shots was 9-7. Did have that goal, of course, by Alexander Barabanov. Provided the most expected offense at 0.8. And then they also 5 offensive zones, 6 neutral zone, 2 defensive. So getting a little bit more of that offensive zone starts. Gregor Hertl Meier line, not super great tonight. 10-22 time on ice, 9 shot attempts, 4, 19 allowed, which is something you do not see, especially with Meier on ice, of them getting outshot that much. Actual shots was 6-10. Expected goals for was 0.58. Kind of more defensive zone starts than you expected. They had 1 offensive, 4 neutral zone, and 4 defensive zone starts. So it's interesting there. I wonder how much longer Noah Gregor's days on that first line are. Again, I still think getting Labanc back on that line. We know how good Labanc, Hertl, and Meier are, and David Quinn has to put them back together at some point, right? Lindblom, Sturm, Bonino, 939. 7 shot attempts, gave up 15. Actual shots was 4-5. 11 defensive zone starts, 3 offensive and 1 neutral zone. So Quinn was relying on that line to kind of get them out of a jam. And when you give up that, again, starting 11 times your own defensive zone, that's a tough draw for anybody. So I guess, only giving up 15 shot attempts, and actual shots on goal was only 5. So they did a good job of making, they did a good job of making life easy for Kaapo Kahkonen. So yeah, they gave up shot attempts, but only 5 of them got, only a third of the shot attempts actually got on goal. So you'll live with that. So Gadovich, Lawrence, and Svechnikov, you wonder if there might be a little bit of shakeup here. 1 shot attempt, gave up 5. Actual shots was 0-4. And they had 5 offensive zone starts. So, yes, I wonder if we see a bit of a shakeup there to try to maybe generate some more offense on the bottom, especially when you're kind of given that many opportunities and you didn't really do too much with it. So, yeah, Erik Karlsson had an up and down night. He got his 70th point of the season. The goal, the second Reinhart goal, it felt like, I know he's trying to make that play and just get it out of the defensive zone. It almost felt like the puck got stuck on the board. I'm not trying to make excuses for Erik Karlsson, but it felt like the puck got stuck along the boards and didn't go. I think he thought it was going to go out a little bit cleaner. You wonder if maybe he just kind of takes the puck with him and goes behind the net and tries to maybe reset things there, if that was the proper play. And then I know he gave up the puck, which gave up the empty net goal, but I'm not going to count. Like, you're trying to generate offense there. It's a do or die situation. It's either you're going to tie the game or you're going to lose the game. And then it doesn't matter if you lose 2-1, 3-1, or 4-1, you still lost the game. So I don't fault him for that. I think he was just trying to make something out of nothing there. But you wonder if that's one of those situations where, at least going back to the Reinhart goal that put them up Panthers up 2-1, if that's one that maybe you just gather the puck, take it behind the net, nice reset, kind of take a breath, type of situation there, and not just try to kind of fling it out and hope that the puck gets out of there. But how many times, Karlsson, he's fine. He's fine. I'm not going to kill him tonight again. He has 70 points in 53 games this year. So, but yeah, that's going to do it tonight. Really quick shout out to one of my all-time favorite players, Zach Thomas, getting in the Hall of Fame. Dan Marino was my first favorite Dolphins player. Zach Thomas, though, was one of those guys where you just rooted for. So happy he finally made it into the Hall of Fame. Was more than deserving to go in a few years ago. Look at his stats and look at Brian Urlacher's stats. Zach Thomas's are better, and Urlacher was a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, but yeah, Zach Thomas, kind of, middle of the round, undersized guy, played hard, just was smarter than everybody else. Go check out, if you're, of a younger generation, go check out Zach Thomas highlights. The dude was a freaking monster, and yeah, just really happy that Zach Thomas is in the Hall of Fame. So that's going to do it for me tonight. Be back on Monday. Recap of the Capitals game from Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody enjoy your Super Bowl weekend. Stay safe out there. Please, if you have too much to drink, just take that second. Call a friend. Get a ride. Just don't make a mistake. So that's my PSA to you. Just have a good time. Please have a good time, but just be smart. So follow me on Twitter at myfryhole. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Locked On Sharks. You can listen to me on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. Watch on YouTube as well. And until Monday, bye, friends.